You know what the term woke actually means?
Um, it's come to mean a lot of things.
But what originally it was meant to mean. It's just being aware of inequities in society and being aware of facts and history.
Yeah, I think it's come to be. I think being aware of inequities in society is fine, of course, um, but trying to blame everything on trying to make everything a race issue is, I think, divisive and corrosive to society.
What is woke to you? What does woke mean?
Perversion.
Woke, it's discrimination. It's reverse discrimination.
I honestly don't understand it, so it's a hard question to answer. I don't understand the woke thing.
I think it's an agenda that's driven down our throats. It's a small part of where we live in our society today that is glamorized through, certainly through the media, through Hollywood, and many, many other things.
Indoctrinated.
By whom?
Far left.
Woke to me is extremes. I think it's taking a lot of things out of context. I think it's just attacking people for their simple views that they have.
Woke means, I can't say it on air,
Say it. You can say anything.
it's BS.
Of Americans consider themselves very liberal, and probably fewer of them consider themselves to be woke. And so, when we
What
talk
does that
about
mean to
traditional
you? Would you mind defining woke? Because it's come up a couple times, and I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
So, I mean, woke is sort of the idea that this is going to be one of those moments that goes viral. I mean, woke is something that's very hard to define, and we've spent an entire chapter defining it. It is sort of the understanding that we need to totally reimagine and redo society in order to create hierarchies of oppression. It's hard to explain in a 15-second soundbite.
Yeah, look, your time.
And probably fewer of them consider themselves to be woke. And so, when we
What
talk
does that
about
mean to
traditional
you? Would you mind defining woke? Because it's come up a couple times, and I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
So, I mean, woke is sort of the idea that this is going to be one of those moments that goes viral. I mean, woke is something that's very hard to define, and we've spent an entire chapter defining it. It is sort of the understanding that we need to totally reimagine and redo society in order to create hierarchies of oppression. It's hard to explain in a 15-second soundbite.
Yeah, look, your time.
Giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Ayashar Barzal, a prophet of doom from the Indianapolis branch of the Great Millstone, coming back at you with another lesson that is edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. And, you just saw the videos, and Esau is terrified of the word woke. All right. Now, being woke from the general population is one thing, but being woke from the elect of the children of Israel is a whole nother ball game. Okay. And it is, and just going over those two videos, you had that Edomite Elon Musk say, it's okay to talk about inequities as long as everything isn't attributed to racism. Fucker, that's how you got your wealth, and your own internet tells on you. I simply asked a question. All right. How did Elon Musk inherit his wealth? It says, while Elon Musk's family was wealthy and benefited from the economic advantages of apartheid in South Africa, he did not inherit most of his wealth through apartheid itself, but rather through his own entrepreneurial ventures and investments. Well, let's look at those three major investments, okay? And mind you, this guy's only 53 years old, born in 1971. All right. His first one was PayPal, 1999. His second venture was SpaceX, 2002. And his third big one is Tesla, 2008. All three of those within 10 years of each other. Okay? 9 years to be exact. All three of those within 10 years of each other. Now, the thing is, where did you get the money to start that from? You know, I'm sure you're not paying back loans. You know, you made some good business deals, but you had to have money to do that. Okay, and it's telling you right here that your family benefited from the economic advantages of apartheid. Okay, um, you know, and that period went on from 1948 to 1994. You know, your father was born, Errol Musk was born in 1946, and your mom, Faye, was born in 1948. Okay. So Errol, you know, had the mining business. And we know even what's going on in the Democratic Republic of the Congo right now. You got those diamond mines going on for free. Same way you did the slaves here. Okay. You pay those people pennies on the dollar, if not nothing at all. Okay. So when you say it's a problem when it's attributed to racism, that's the truth. It is exactly about racism. All right. But you don't like that truth being told. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 16. It says, thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's right hand shall be turned to thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. Yeah. The truth is on your stuff, okay? The truth is on what you have done, how you acquired your wealth, okay? You can talk about those other business ventures, but you had to start somewhere, you know, and to acquire all of those major businesses within a 10-year period, yeah, you know, we're not ignorant of your devices. You know, you full of shit, you know, point blank period. And the world knows that, all right? That's why everybody's turning against you, okay? And the world, but, you know, you're Esau Edom. This is what you do, okay? So, yeah, you've been exposed, okay? That was a ball, you know, you don't want that truth coming out. You know how you got your wealth. You know, you inherited based off of the atrocities of the apartheid. Okay, same system, and that's what we learn through our camp series, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob. You don't change your playbook at all. It gets a little bit more sophisticated, but at the core stuff, it's exactly the same on how you do stuff. So I just, you know, in that particular interview, you know, it should have been a Jake with, you know, a little bit more backbone, not be so damn soft with you, you know, but hey, that's the way he is anyway. But still, you know, what was said, what you said was already known, okay? You don't want your stuff, you don't want your wealth be blamed on racism, that's exactly what it was, even by your own internet. All right, and then that that one lady at the end, the Edomites are in between, you know, after Elon Musk, just, you know, fucking stupid, uneducated, you know, and that's what the current king of Babylon said. You know, he loves the uneducated, and you can see that. You know, they couldn't define it either. You know, they could not define it either. But the thing is, they know something's wrong in their spirit. You don't like the truth either. Talking about it's discrimination. All right. When Putin opened those vaults, and told you the truth of what's always been in the scriptures, you burned those Bibles up this time last year. Okay? That's not discrimination. That was the truth, which is what you don't like. Okay? You cannot handle the truth because of the way you were born. Psalms 58:3 say the wicked are estranged from the womb. They be born, as soon as they be born, they speak lies. Let me grab that so I don't butcher it. Psalms 58:3. Yes, God. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So the first sound out of your mouth is a damn lie. All right? Even if it's gasping for air. Right out of the womb. The seed of the wicked. All right? And we know that wicked to be Esau, Edom, according to Malachi 1:4. The devil that the Bible speaks of. All right? And so, yeah. This truth is a terror unto you, all right? Even that last woman who couldn't even define it, but little did she know, she defined it exactly what it is without knowing. What does she say here? She says, woke is the understanding that we need to retool, totally reimagine, and redo society in order to create hierarchies of oppression. And that's right. The society is going to change, okay? But, in a way that you are going to suffer. You are really going to be oppressed. Out of the other, out of all the 17 nations outside of Israel that are going to feel it the worst is going to be you, Esau, Edom, okay? For the violence that you've committed against Jacob, all right? So, yeah. Without understanding what woke is, you defined it perfectly. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, again at verse 1. All right? And it says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And those strangers are the Israelites who are scattered abroad, according to the curse of Deuteronomy 28:64. Those Israelites who look just like the heathen, but are not the heathen, according to blood, according to the spirit. Okay. Verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Yeah, it's going to be a changing of the guard, very close. A changing of the guard, and we know that, okay? According to Sirach 10 and 8. Let me grab that. This is the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus. It's in the Apocrypha, chapter 10, verse 8. And it reads, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, Elon Musk, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. All right? And I just read in Isaiah 14:1 and 2, who the kingdom is transferring to, the nation of Israel. Okay? The true nation of Israel, not the small hatters, the 1948ers, those defiled people occupying the state of Israel right now. Because remember, Israel's a people before place. That's what Isaiah 14:1 just described. All right? So yeah, for all these reasons, and it's coming to an end. Every kingdom has about a span of maybe 250 years, and you're right there. You're right there, Esau, Edom, matching right up with the prophecies. Okay? And that's the part of woke that you are afraid of. Okay? That's what you're afraid of. Because we're rediscovering the elect is rediscovering elect of Israel. So I can make that clear. The elect of the nation of Israel is, has discovered and is discovering, rediscovering their heritage depending on where you are in this truth. Okay? Rediscovering the truth of who they are, being the people according to the scriptures. Okay? And I remember hearing this, maybe 10 years ago. It resonated, it stuck with me because I can go back. But now, the evidence is abundantly clear. Both who you are and Esau, Edom, and who we are. And I say we, I'm talking about the elect of the nation of Israel, hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. All right, back to that Isaiah 14. And verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. That golden city is America. Okay, aka Babylon the Great. Who's the king of Babylon? Esau, Edom, beginning with the head tribe of Amalek, who owns the United States government right now, and all of those 3-letter, 4-letter agencies. Okay, like the CIA and the FBI, who are afraid. That report just came out. We have to infiltrate them. It's not gonna work. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is going to spew all of the agents out. You cannot infiltrate. He will get rid of them first. All right? He will get rid of them. Although we know some of us will be martyrs, there's nothing you can do against the truth but for the truth. All right? This is Romans 8. and 33. And it reads, who shall lay anything to the charge of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's elect? It is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai that justifieth. Verse 34, who is he that condemneth? It is Hamashiach that died, yea rather that is risen again, who is even at the right hand of Yahweh, who also maketh intercession for us. Okay? We got the creator of the heaven and earth on our side, the side of the elect. Okay? It's not a damn thing you can do. All right? Because this is of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And what he says goes. All right? Point blank period. Nothing can change that. So you can spy, try to infiltrate all you want to. It's going to come to naught. Okay? That's the problem with woke, In that video that was that went around just before the Passover, it's not that they have weapons or things like that. You are afraid of the ideology. That ideology has nothing. You can't do nothing about that. Okay? Jeremiah 17:4, it was the Lord who discontinued not only Jeremiah, but the rest of us from our heritage. And it is the Lord who is going to return it. All right? This is the book of Baruch, chapter 2. Baruch, scribe for Jeremiah, chapter 2. All right, beginning in verse 30. It says, for I knew that they would not hear me because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. Wait a minute. It says in the land of their captivities. So if the Israelites are still in captivity, then who are the people in the land right now? Fucking imposters. Lying imposters. They can't tell you where the other 11 tribes are. Okay, they can't tell you what King David is. Okay. The Balfour Declaration of 1948 set you in that land. Okay, according to Ezekiel 36. Not Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, because it says he said he would put us in our land. And it said that all eyes will see him. That didn't happen when you went over in the land. Okay? That was 1948. And then you tried it again in 2020. While everyone was occupied with the BLM riots regarding the murder of George Floyd, you know, there's an article right now. You can go look it up on YouTube. And as the article was from CBN, I want to say June 2024, June 24th, 2020. It said 130 Ukrainian Jews returned to the Promised Land, fulfilling the prophecy of Isaiah and Jeremiah. I did a video on that. I think about a couple years ago now. Okay. All eyes didn't see that, like the scripture said that they would. Yahushua and a host of heavenly angels didn't do that, you know, like the scriptures say they would. Okay. The people are still mourning, you know, with the current rulership. When it says, when the righteous are on authority, the people rejoice. Let me go ahead and grab that and come back. It's Proverbs 29 and 2. And it reads, when the righteous are on authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. People are mourning right now. Okay? Both here in the United States and over in the state of Israel. Okay? Because the wicked, who is Esau, Edom, okay? Genesis 25 and 25, okay? The red man, who's not white, he calls himself white. That was a social construct started in 1681, okay? White meaning without moral impurity, and your history is far from that. You know, you got a lot of dirt and blood on your hands because that's what you want to do, okay? Back to Baruch. It says, for I knew that they would not hear me because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves and shall know, what? Shall know that I am Yahweh their power. For I will give them a heart which is a mind and ears to hear. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name. Okay? The name is Yahweh. The name of the Father, meaning he is, he to be, he exists. Bahashem, meaning in the name. Okay? Yahweh Shai, who is the Son, meaning he saves, he delivers. Okay? The name is not Hashem. That means the name. Okay? In the Paleo Hebrew. Actually, Hashem. Okay? You say Hashem, but there are no E's, O's, U's, J's, or V's in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. Okay? Hashem means the name. You can't say it because it's dreadful to the heathen. His name is. All right? Verse 33. And return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, repentance, you know. For they shall remember the way of their fathers which sinned before the Lord. Okay? There was a point in time we didn't know who our fathers were. And that was by design. You know, Psalms 83. All right, let me grab that. I said Jeremiah 17 and 4. We were discontinued from our heritage. All right, Psalms 83. Verse 1. It says, a song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not, O silence, O Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, hold not thy peace and be not still, O Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. That's a war cry. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head, gotten proud, because we're in a low state. Okay? It says they have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Who was that? His people, the Israelites. Okay? And especially his elect. He says, and have consulted against thy hidden ones. You know, doing those DNA tests to try to find out where the scattered Israelites are, the ones that look like the heathen but are not heathens. All right. He said, verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. All right. So you had a huge hand in taking away our heritage, our history, our language. Okay. That's evidence, you know. You got all the evidence for that. But in that Baruch, it says, we shall remember ourselves. I'll say it again. You know, you ain't got shit to do with the elect. You know, the destination of the elect was predestinated. You know, I just read in Romans 8:33, you know, no one can lay charge to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's elect. No one. He's the one who justifies. All right. So, yeah. And it says, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. And it goes on to name the nations. Okay. I'm going to point out in verse 6, the nation of Edom. Okay. And verse 7, Amalek. Okay. Both from the nation of Edom, but we know Amalek is your head tribe. You know, Numbers 24 and 20 says he's the first of the nations, meaning the chief nation. Okay. We know exactly who that is today, who's running everything, who the United States has sold out to. Okay. The biggest welfare recipient ever in history. You know, that psyop they said that happened around World War II, it didn't happen on the soil. The U.S. wasn't responsible for it. Why are you paying them reparations? Okay. And it's it was those same Amalekites who not only financed the transatlantic slave trade, they own the ships. All right. They straight own the ships and the banks and the insurance companies. Okay. Which is why they're so rich today. Okay. And that same Edom, you know, this the same Salakia, this same Amalek is the same one who came up behind our people as we were exiting Egypt, killing off the young and the feeble. All right. And then on our way to the promised land, who else did we encounter? Edom. You know, we want to just pass by the land. They came out with swords. Okay. The wicked. All right. And that's who is in control of earth right now, according to Job 9 and 24. Okay. Very easy. Very easy. Back to that Baruch. Chapter 2. So yeah, this woke, like I said, is a terror unto them. All right. He says, and I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. Here again, just like Isaiah 14, the Lord is going to put his people back in that land. Not the Balfour Declaration. Okay? And once he puts us in that land, we're going to have the new covenant in us, those new bodies, incorruptible bodies, okay, and be in rulership under King David and Yahushua. All right, 144,000. All right, and this is verse 35. and I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power, and they shall be my people, and I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land which I have given them. And we know that whole land, that land that was promised, all right, from the great river of Egypt, which is the Nile, all the way over to the Euphrates, all right. That's just the land here on earth. But we're going to have ownership of the whole universe, okay, other galaxies, and be in rulership of them. All right. So yeah, that woke is terrifying, because Esau Edom knows that they're the only nation, according to the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, that will not receive mercy from the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. No matter how much you say you believe, he ain't dealing with you. According to Romans 9:13, it says, Jacob I have loved, Esau I've hated. Second Ezra 3:13 through 16. And he said he put by Esau, rejected Esau. All right. Which is backed up in Hebrews 12:16 and 17. You can try to repent all you want to. You can't. Forgiveness and repentance is only to the nation of Israel, according to Acts 5:30 and 31. All right. So yeah, this word woke is destroying y'all. Okay. Especially when it comes from the elect. All right. Let me get that word woke in the Edamon online. It says to become, it's a past tense of wake, verb, to become awake. Okay. To become awake, arise, be born, originate. Okay. To watch. Okay. The prophets are watchmen. We see that in Habakkuk 2, Ezekiel 3. All right. That's what we do. Causative sense, to rouse from sleep. We know the prophecy, Genesis 49. Judah's a lion's whelp. Who shall rouse him up? Okay. The past participle of woke, woken, related, waking. These usage guidelines for awake, awaken, wake, waken are distilled in the Fowler. Okay. So yeah, you can go in here and in the Edamon online and read this. But more importantly, when the elect are woke or awakened, it means that this American dream is a nightmare. Okay, and the dream itself implies that you are asleep to some degree. Okay, and we're not supposed to be asleep. We're supposed to be awakened. All right, and this truth. And that's what the mouth of the prophets are doing on behalf of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. He told us to cry aloud, spare not. Show my people their transgressions, Isaiah 58:1. Okay? And we can't show them what they're doing unless we don't know what we're doing, what they're doing. Okay? That's against the scriptures. All right? This is the book of Romans, chapter 13. Verse 11. And it reads, and that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than what we believe. Okay? That's why that's why being awake is a terror to them. Because our salvation means their downfall. As the year 2025 was declared by beloved old Apostle Tahar, okay, the hopeful 2025, the hopeful year of our deliverance and the judgment and the destruction of Esau Edom. That's why the word woke or awake is a terror to Esau, Edom. Okay? It's very close. And we're seeing everything. The major prophecies are all in play. We got the chariot sighting. So we know that the Lord is beginning to visit the world that he made, according to 2nd Ezra chapter 9. Okay? The MOTB is right there. Okay? We got, when I say the MOTB, now that Musk is making this Dogecoin, okay, which is that crypto stuff, okay, that's going to tie right into it. You know, I just saw an article today on Newsbreak. All the major banks are having major closings. Okay, that digital currency is on its way. All right, and I'll put a link to the closing of the banks in the description box of this video. Okay, it says again on verse 12, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. Okay? How do you cast off darkness? Getting into these scriptures. Okay? What's the armor of light? You know, Yahweh Shai. You know, he's our protection. He's our buckler. He's our shield. Okay? And that light is this truth. Okay? This is book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 14. And it reads, wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Hamashiach shall give thee light. Okay? Arise from the dead. Okay? That dead is a meaning a dead state, not having this truth, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures. Okay? And when you do that, you know, when you're dead, you don't have the truth. Okay? Like the scriptures say, you know, their dead bodies are going to lay in the street. All right? That's a metaphor for not having the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures. All right? It's Proverbs 21 and 16. And it reads, the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. Okay? What's the understanding, knowledge, and wisdom of this truth? Okay? Understanding the law, understanding what faith is, understanding what the purpose of doing this work. You know, going out on the highways and byways, doing these video epistles. Okay? And like you said, you know, going back to that Romans 13 and 12. Says, yeah, and let us put on the armor of light. Okay? And those things that I just explained, that's what you have to do. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 50. I'm going to close out here. Or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 50, beginning at verse 27. And it reads, Yahushai, another Yahushai, the son of Sirach of Jerusalem, have written in this book the instruction of understanding and knowledge, who out of his heart poured forth wisdom. Verse 28, blessed is he that shall be exercised in these things, and he that layeth them up in his heart shall become wise.
If you've been getting scam texts like these,
Slakia.
It means your data was probably leaked online.
Those doggone interruptions. Yep. Again, Esau don't like this truth. All right. Back to Sirach 50, beginning at verse 27 again. It says, Yahushai, and like I said before, another Yahushai, the son of Sirach of Jerusalem, have written in this book the instruction of understanding and knowledge, who out of his heart poured forth wisdom. It says, blessed, and that word blessed means fortunate, is he that shall be exercised in these things. And he that layeth them up in his heart shall become wise. Okay? Or woke. Verse 29 says, for if he do them, he shall be strong to all things. For the light of the Lord leadeth him, who giveth wisdom to the godly. Blessed be the name of the Lord forever. Amen, amen. And that name is Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. Once again, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rahakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be likened to the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners, and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, I say Shalom, Kwame Yasharala, Abab Abal. Time's running out for you, Esau, Edom. The elect, hopeful elect, is awake.